Our first guest is very well known in the Miami era and around the NBA world. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the voice of the Miami Heat, Mike Inglis. What's going on, my friend?
I'm doing good. How about you?
We are good, man. It's been a long day getting this all set up and ready to go. It's been a hassle, but we're here and we're happy to have you on.
Listen, I'm looking forward to tonight too with this NFL draft, seeing how it all comes out.
Oh my God, this whole virtual draft thing is ridiculous. It feels like I'm playing a video game.
Yeah, it is going to be funny, but I'll tell you, if it comes off without a hitch, whoever set it up, whoever the electrician is, whoever the producer is, has done a marvelous job, because what a task to have to do with all these teams and guys in so many different locations. I mean, teams in different locations, the head coaches and the assistants and the GMs. It's quite a task, but you know what? The NFL will pull it off.
I think the NFL will figure this out, especially in the first 5 or 6 picks. There might be problems with the cameras. I'm very intrigued and very interested to see what the NFL will do if that happens. And what are they going to do with the trades? We're going to be talking about that. I believe there will be trades tonight. So,
yeah, how do you do that? And of course, everyone down here is wondering about what are the Dolphins going to do? Are they going to get Tua? Are they going to get another quarterback? Are they going to grab an offensive lineman? What are they going to do? I'm looking forward to it at 8 o'clock, believe me.
Absolutely. And Mike, how are you and your families doing right now with the whole COVID-19 situation?
Oh, thanks for asking. We're doing good. We're over in Fort Myers. We've got a home here, and for basketball, we're over on the east coast of Florida, and I have a daughter up in Cleveland. She's doing great. And health-wise, knock on wood, we're doing fine right now. But like everybody else in the country, we're missing sports. And we wanted to get up and going. But the bottom line is making sure everybody's healthy, first of all.
And, well, we really appreciate you joining us tonight. And I want to get into some Miami Heat conversation. And what were your thoughts to Pat Riley's offseason last year, from Jimmy Butler signing or just to the draft? What did you think about his offseason?
Well, I'll tell you, it was very, very interesting. I would be a bald-faced liar if I said I expected us to be where we are right now after the draft and how everything has come together. But I think getting Jimmy Butler in here, he is the prototypical Miami Heat player with his attitude and his seriousness about it, just like Pat Riley and the rest of the Miami Heat. You hear people talking about this culture all the time, and it's a real thing. And Miami Heat culture is not for everybody. You come here, they will give you absolutely every tool to try and succeed. And the name of the game is every year, whether you've had no draft picks, where the things aren't going right, it's to get that Larry O'Brien trophy. That's what it's always all about. And I think with the group that Pat put together, is it a bit of a surprise? Well, of course it is. I mean, holy mackerel! They've got this young core now that are just doing a fabulous job, and then the development of Bam and then Jimmy Butler, and just the whole attitude has just been fabulous.
Mike, Jimmy Butler has been thought of in the past as a young player killer with the Bulls when he was with the Sixers and recently with the Timberwolves. What do you think is the difference in why these Miami Heat young players have just strived well around him? Guys like Tyler Hero, Adebayo, like you mentioned. What is the difference between this experience and his previous three?
I think it's attitude. It's all about the attitude, and it was set in training camp. He's up at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning in the gym right off the bat practicing, and these young guys who are coming into the league, they're seeing the superstar getting up and doing that and see the fruits of his labor. And again, if you can win doing what you're doing, it makes it so much easier. And of course, the young guys are seeing that. And Jimmy Butler has helped set the tone, along with Bam, who's been there. And then, of course, UD, who's been there forever, and Goran Dragic and company. They've all bought into the system because they know what can happen when you work this system and you listen to the coaches. And again, it always helps when your best player is leading the way and has the attitude that he has. And that's, hey, let's win. He doesn't care about his numbers or what have you, like a lot of players around the league are concerned about. He cares about one thing. At the end of the night, seeing the big W, you having more points than the other team.
We are talking to the voice of the Miami Heat, Mike Inglis. Mike, I love Pat Riley. I grew up a Pat Riley fan. He He was the head coach of the New York Knicks in the 90s. And before Jeff Van Gundy took over the team, the Van Gundy family played right under him as assistant coaches with Jeff Van Gundy and Stan Van Gundy. These guys have been successful. Erik Spoelstra, what are your thoughts to him? Ever since LeBron James has left, Dwayne Wade has retired, Chris Bosh had to retire because of his situation. He has made this team that much better with all the acquisitions in the draft and even bringing Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's a different player right now with Erik Spoelstra. So what are your thoughts to Erik Spoelstra as a head coach right now in the league?
I think he's had the best tutelage anyone could have under the likes of, you mentioned, the Van Gundys, but in particular Pat Riley. There's a certain way of doing it, and it's the professional way. You can't beat everyone down all the time if things aren't going well, and he's certainly learned that. But again, it's about being professional, and he's very professional about it. Does everyone have their foibles? Of course they do. But I'll tell you, learning right from, his family, obviously NBA people. His dad were the Portland Trail Blazers and that. And he learned basketball right from in the little room, looking at video, learning. After he was a pretty decent college ball player in Portland, then went over and played in Europe for a little bit. So it certainly wasn't foreign to him, but he's learned right from the ground up. And who could ask for a better teacher in watching what Pat does? Obviously, he has his own things that he likes to get going, but he's very, very honest ball player, coach with the ball players. And I think that's one of the most important things. He's not feeding you a line of BS, and he wants you to be the best you can be. And if you're the best you can be, you give it your all. And that's what he does also as a coach and his coaching staff. They want one thing. That's to be successful for everybody.
Mike, do you think Riley has something up his sleeves this offseason in free agency?
Who knows? That's a great question. I mean, Pat's always got something up his sleeve. Are you kidding me? Pat wants another Larry O'Brien trophy, and look at what he did getting at the likes of a Kendrick Nunn. I mean, my goodness. And some of the people he's picked up in this in the last off season was just absolutely phenomenal. They've got at least 3 players that are probably up for awards in the talking about awards in the NBA once we get this league going again. He's done a marvelous job. And again, I would lie if I said I thought the team would be where we are right now. And what they have done has just been spectacular.
Mike, I was just about to ask about Kendrick Nunn. He's been a really big breakthrough for them this year. Are you surprised at this, or did you see something maybe last year at the end or in Summer League or something like that caused this breakout?
No, they picked him up on the last day of last season from the Golden State Warriors, G League team. And I'm telling you, what a find. Obviously, the scouting staff did a real good job on him. And look what all of a sudden he's in the starting lineup, with a bunch of other young ball players and Hero coming off the bench. And, the great shooting they've got from outside now. It's just really been phenomenal how they've all come together. But, I mean, what else can you ask for? Duncan Robinson, he's a kid from a junior college, goes to Michigan, and they pick him up last year, played in the G League a little bit, and then he gets a chance to play with the big guys into the starting lineup and is one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA right now. And he's also plays some darn good defense. It's just not one way with this team. You've got to be able to play both ends of the floor. We all know in the NBA, just about everybody can do it on offense. Defense is the key. That makes the difference between a superstar and just a real good ball player. If you can play defense and play good offense, you've got a chance to be something real special. And I think that's one thing Pat saw in the guys that he has picked up.
We are talking to the voice of the Miami Heat, Mike Inglis. Mike, speaking of great players from the Miami Heat organization, Dwayne Wade retired last year. He's one of the greatest players to ever come out, shooting guards of all time. And coming out from Miami, you talk about some of the great players. We talk about Tim Hardaway Jr. We talk about all the different players that came. Even Shaquille O'Neal, when he came over there and he won a title with Dwayne Wade. What is your thoughts to Dwayne Wade's career as a player of the Miami Heat?
Well, obviously, he's going to go down as the greatest Miami Heat player in history right now, certainly. I mean, and that's besmirch the great play of Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway and some of the other players that the Miami Heat have had, the Ronnie Cycles and what have you. But Dwayne Wade, he's the epitome of just being a superstar. No one knew he would be that good coming out of college. Miami, like a lot of teams, probably would have grabbed Chris Bosh, but they didn't have the pick. Toronto had the pick in front of them, and they wound up taking this kid they saw in college doing a pretty decent job. From what I understand, he didn't have a real good workout when he first came to the Heat, but Miami saw, and the scouts saw something in this kid. I'll never forget the first time I met him. I mean, really a kid. And boy, did he ever blossom. But he's another guy, a great example of buying into the system that Miami has got, this culture that the Heat just exudes all the time. And again, not for everybody, but for Dwayne Wade, it was the perfect fit. And without a doubt, I would assume one day there'll probably be a statue outside American Airlines Arena.